Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded NBA Ranking Show. I am your host, Eric, with the big dog in the house. Kenny, how are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on, my man? What an interesting week this has been in the NBA. But we're going to start off with some sad news. I know you had broke it to me. Former Celtics coach Chris Ford has passed away at the age of 74. We think about that transition when he came in from Boston. In kind of was he was right after Patino
Yep.
and kind of at least got them back on some kind of track. Did you know though, Kenny? There was there was the first man to ever hit a 3-pointer was Chris Ford,
Yeah.
right? Is that
Yeah.
not a pretty
Yeah.
interesting fact? Like when I
Yeah. It's
read that, and
crazy,
I
right?
said, "Wow," So just some sad news out of Boston, but we felt like we had to mention it since we are an NBA show, and
Oh,
hopefully
yeah.
his family's doing okay. We wish him our condolences. All right, my friend, let's get into this list. Let's see where we're at. Again, this was posted on Monday, so a couple days in here now, but this is where we were at on Monday when these rankings came out. At number 5, the Philadelphia 76ers. At 4, the Brooklyn Nets. At 3, the Memphis Grizzlies. At 2, the Boston Celtics. And at number 1, again, another week now, the Denver Nuggets. So, Kenny, some controversy on this list, as they always are. Biggest ones being Milwaukee, who's 29-16. They've won 2 straight. They're 6-4 in their last 10. People wanted to kind of question why the Milwaukee Bucks are not on this list.
Because they're 6-4 in their last 10.
Okay. 29-16, though, a little better than the Sixers,
A little
maybe
better than the six.
Brooklyn.
A little better than the Sixers. A little better than the Brooklyn. But when you're on a roll, you're on a roll.
Yeah. And then what about so the Beam team has come up. Sacramento 24-18. They've won 4 straight. Number 1 offense in the league, 7-3 in their last 10. Sacramento, is that team that quietly we could see this week, depending on how they play?
Yes. Yes. All depending on their schedule. But yes, they might be. They might break the top
Yeah.
five.
I think they're bidding for it at this point,
Yeah.
but let's
Yeah.
start off. We'll talk about that number 5 team, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. They're 28-16 so far in the season, 17-7 at home, 11-9 on the road, 113.9 points per game, which is 15th overall in the NBA. So they're about middle of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
110.2 points allowed, though, 4th overall. So defensively, very good. 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 3-game winning streak, Kenny. So I started looking at some of the numbers offensively. Again, nothing really stood out, but 38% from the 3-point line. That's 4th overall in the NBA. So they're shooting the deep ball pretty well.
Yeah.
82.5% from the free throw line, which is 3rd. So you get them on the line, they're going to put points on the board.
Yep.
Defensively as well, they're defending the 3-point line pretty well. 34.3 points percentage per game, which is 6th. So they're in the top 10 when it comes to defensive efficiency from the 3-point line. So they're covering that outside perimeter. They're also holding teams to 24 assists per game, which is 8th. So you think about what they're able to do defensively, very good. Last 3 games, they've beaten Utah, the Lakers, and the Clippers.
Yeah.
So again, that West Coast trip seemed to help them a little bit. Next 3 games at Portland, at Sacramento, and then Brooklyn. What is your expectations of these Philadelphia 76ers?
If James Harden can play consistently well, which he has a problem with, they could basically be a top contender in the East. Joel Embiid shooting 57% in the paint, which is a record season for him because he likes that jump shot. He likes that baseline jump shot. But if he
Yeah.
goes in, no one can stop him. He's unstoppable in the paint.
Yeah, look, I mean, we talk about the game changing and a 3-point shooter. I mean, he can hit from the outside, but we don't see a big man other than him and Jokic that realistically are those guys that can create anywhere on the floor.
Yes.
I mean, he's averaging 33.6 points, 9.8 rebounds, 1.7 blocks. So he's obviously that key.
Mhm.
James Harden, 21.7, 6.3 rebounds, 11.1 assists. So he's definitely more of a distributor now than he is trying to score.
Yeah.
The key to this team right now, though, I think is Tyrese Maxey, 20.9 points per game. He's also second on the team in 3-point shooting at 39.6%. So again, giving him those opportunities, almost 40% from the 3-point line.
Mm.
That is key. Tobias Harris, 16.4 points. So they've got a good, solid group of players that can make some noise here. And DeAnthony Melton, 11 points per game, 1.9 steals. Like he's a defensive menace. You're looking at a guy that's starting to come onto his own as well.
Yeah. And over those last 3 games combined, 45 points.
Wow. So again, if they can get contributions from all these other guys, we know what Embiid's going to bring. The
Yep.
key with Embiid is staying healthy. Harden, to your point, I mean, I think he's taking a role now to say, look, I'm going to distribute more than I'm going to try to score.
Mhm.
I mean, if it works for the team, great. If Maxey Harris, Melton can get them those extra points that maybe you're not going to get from James Harden now, you could see this team, like you said, compete in the East. It's going to be tough, but I again, the key here would be Doc Rivers. Can he get them when they're in the playoffs to win some series? It just seems like that's been their struggle. They can get there. They're one of the top teams in the East. They'll be probably a 4 or 5 seed. But it seems like they get in that playoffs and something changes.
Yep.
So
Can't close it out.
yeah,
Close it out.
right. So it's not to question the coaching at that point. And is it Doc Rivers? But they got the talent. They're very talented team.
Very.
So Brooklyn Nets coming at 4, but this is an interesting team because again, this Kevin Durant injury is definitely going to affect them. They're 27-16 now, 13-7 at home, 14-9 on the road, 113.5 points per game, 16th in the league in scoring. So they're not putting up a lot of points, but they are also holding teams to 110.5, which is 5th. 6-4 in the last 10, but they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. If you look at where they are offensively in the league, they're second overall in shooting. They're 50.6% from the field, 38.4 from the 3-point line, which is second, 8th in free throw shooting at 80.1. So you see a lot of good things. They're number 1 in blocks in the league right now, and Nick Claxton's a big part of that.
Yes.
Defensively, they hold teams to 45.1% shooting, which is 3rd overall. So defensively, they're playing great basketball. And 4th in assists allowed at 22.8. When you think about the Brooklyn Nets, you think offense, I'm sorry. And defensively is where they've actually been able to get the majority of their wins because they're able to hold teams to less points and not a great shooting percentage. They've had a tough stretch here, though. They lost to Boston, OKC, and San Antonio in their last 3. And now they've got a road trip, it looks like West Coast, at Phoenix, at Utah, and at Golden State. Can the Nets hold on without Kevin Durant?
Yeah, they can hold on. Like they're ranked 3rd in defense, and unbelievably, they're 18-4 against the 16 teams that are below 500. So they just need to play that defense. Tremendous defense. That's what blows me away. They got defense. Tremendous defense.
Yeah, we know what KD's doing, 29.7 points per game, but Nick Claxton very quietly. I mean, again, this kid came out of nowhere. 8.5 rebounds, 2.7 blocks. He's a blocking machine right now. And you criticized him our last show, but Ben Simmons honestly could be the key to this. Look, 6.3 assists, 1.5 steals, 6.8 rebounds. So he's doing all those little intangibles. He needs to take more shots. I think he's averaging like 6 or 7 shots a game.
Yeah.
Right? Get that up to 10, 15. He's shooting pretty well. He's actually shooting a high percentage. Then off the bench as well, Royce O'Neal, 9.3 points, 5 rebounds, 4.1 assists. They're getting those two guys. As much as you think, to me, Ben Simmons is contributing. It may be in a different way. Defensively, distributing the ball, getting rebounds. The guys that got to step up for this team, if they're going to carry this until KD gets back, Patty Mills, Joe Harris, and Seth Curry, all
Yes.
averaging under 10 points.
Yep.
And they need these guys to step up and become those guys that can get them 12 to 15 points a game for the next couple weeks until Kevin Durant gets back. So does Brooklyn stay on this list, Kenny? Again, Phoenix, Utah, Golden State, the next three, they could win those games. I mean, they could lose those games. So would you think if I was to say today, Brooklyn's going to be on this list next week?
They can win those games on the list. Yeah, no, I think next week.
It's going to be interesting to see how far they go without Kevin Durant. So at number 3, you got the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 30-13 on the season, 19-3 at home. Great home record. 11-10 on the road, though. Still need to figure that out. 4th in scoring in the league at 117.6 and 8th in defensive points allowed at 111.6. 10-0 in their last 10. So they're on a 10-game winning streak right now. Offensively, when I started looking at their numbers, they don't blow you away, but they are the number 1 rebounding team in the league at 49.2 rebounds per game and second in blocks at 6.1.
Yep.
This is where the key has been, though. Defensively, they're holding teams to 44.3%, which is first in the NBA, and 8th in 3-point shooting percentage at 34.9. So, again, they're able to make sure that you're not putting up a lot of points. They may score a good amount, but if you can't score more than 111, you're going to lose most of those games.
Yeah.
Last 3 games, San Antonio, Indiana, Phoenix, all wins. They've got Cleveland, the Lakers, and Phoenix. Their next 3 games. The Lakers and Phoenix on the road, which they, again, almost 500. So they could lose one of those games.
Yeah.
What do you like about the Memphis Grizzlies right now at the 3 spot?
I like that Ja can get to the rim any time he wants to. In the paint, he's 53.6%. But he shoots terrible from downtown. He's not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
But this boy can get to the rim any way he can and anytime he can. You seen that dunk? Ooh.
Bro. Unreal dunks, man. I would say this too. I think he's just borderline over 30% from 3. Like, stop doing it.
Yeah.
You know, do what, and we talked about it, like drive to the rim, be that distributor.
Yeah.
Right. 7.9 assists. So he's also getting guys involved. He leads the team in that. Tyus Jones is a backup. 10.8 points, 4.8 assists. So you're getting production from your secondary point guard. That's important.
Yep.
Desmond Bain shooting 42.4% from the 3-point line. If anybody should be taking threes on that team, there's your guy.
It's him.
There's your guy.
Yep.
And then Steven Adams, again, you know, the 11.3 rebounds and 1.2 blocks. You're seeing production across the board from this team. I think they've got to straighten out that that road record, though. They have to figure out how to win on the road. That's going to be important.
Yeah.
And again, they got the play to do it. You think Ja Morant, again, he doesn't, I don't think he fears anything.
No,
it's not like you go into, you know, the opponent's arena and go, oh man, they're booing me or I can't. That's not the factor. So
yeah.
And they play well defensively. So what's the struggle on the roads, Kenny?
Just don't know. Maybe the arenas, the lights, the cameras.
That different angle sometimes, you know, when you're shooting and everything looks a little different. I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see because, again, I think they're one of the top contenders in the West. And again, without me looking completely deep into this, every aspect of this, they have to get better offensively as well. They're only shooting 47.3%, which is 13th.
Yeah.
You got to shoot better. 19th overall in 3-point percentage at 35.1. That's not going to cut it. The league is a 3-point. They are the worst free throw shooting team in the league at 71.3.
Yep.
So again, it's almost like teams late in the game, you're going to foul them. And they're going to miss them. Yeah. So, you know, that's going to cost you at some point. So I think they've got to straighten out some of that stuff offensively from a shooting standpoint. and they'll be okay. But that could hurt them, especially on the road. Games on the road a lot of times they're close, they're tight.
Tight. Yep.
71.3% isn't going to get it done at the free throw line.
No.
At number 2, we got the Boston Celtics, 33-12. Seem to have to right the ship here as well. 17-5 at home, 16-7 on the road. 118.8 points per game, which is second overall, only behind the Sacramento Kings. 11th defensively, 112.3 points allowed. 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 7-game winning streak, Kenny. This team is very interesting because you could go so many dynamics when it comes to the Boston Celtics, but number 1 shooting free throw team in the league, 83.2%.
Yep.
5th in assists, 26.9. So they're distributing the ball. What did we say was one of their problems back in the day? One-on-one basketball, right?
Yep.
They're moving the ball. They're distributing. You're seeing that now, which is good to see. 4th in blocks. So even defensively, they can block. They are holding teams to 22.6 assists per game, which is number 1 in the NBA. So they're not allowing, look, they're making you try to have to get to the basket or shoot the ball, and sometimes in bad situations. They've won their last 3 against Brooklyn and then back-to-backs against Charlotte. Next 3, Golden State at home, then at Toronto, at Orlando. That Orlando one's interesting now because we know the last time they played Orlando back-to-back, Orlando beat them both times. So
yeah.
What can you tell me about the Boston Celtics, Kenny?
What that you don't already know?
Maybe that the fans out there don't know. How's that?
First of all, Jason Tatum, 51 points on MLK Day.
Woo, baby. You see 50? That? And in Charlotte, they were cheering for him.
yeah.
They were cheering MVP.
Yeah, they were cheering MVP. It's like crazy. And I just realized they're 4-0 against the Nets, the Bucks, and the Sixers,
which are all probably considered the top 4 teams in the East.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's important. So great stat. I would say this too. I watched that game on Monday, and I can see that Jason Tatum is starting to take it to another level.
Yeah.
Like he physically has started to, it looks like, either put on muscle because he was dominating. He could box you down, and then he just spin his speed. It seems like the game's slowing down for him at this point. He's becoming a legit superstar in this league.
Yeah.
And I think another factor is he's not just trying to shoot the threes. He's taking it to the rim. He's trying to get to the free throw line, and he's hitting those free throws. So that's important.
Yep.
Marcus Smart, 7.3 assists per game. We said we needed a point guard. You're getting that. But then you can look at Brogdon and what Brogdon's doing off the bench, right? 14.1 points per game. Mm-hmm. Kenny, he's shooting 45.4% from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
He's almost 50%.
Yeah.
And he's averaging about 4.2 attempts per game. So it's not like he's taking one shot. He's taking 4 shots a game and making, at least half of those.
And he's so confident in his shot. Every time I watch him, he's so confident in his shot. If he doesn't make it, he'll try to get the rebound, put it back up. He is so confident in his shot. Great pickup.
And I love the fact, look, Derek White, who got brought in last year, we kind of were like, I don't know if I like him. Then he played 10.1 points per game as your backup point guard.
Yep.
A shooting guard, because he kind of splits both roles, the way they kind of move guys around. I like that addition now. That seems to be a really good fit for them. And then Al Horford, assists to turnovers, 4.8. He's number 1 on the team. And we laugh about it, right? But look, he's almost 10 points a game. I think he's 9.5, somewhere in that ballpark. He's shooting over 40% from 3-point line. He's not turning the ball over. These are all the things that if you can get that out of Al Horford on the majority of the nights, other than the back-to-back, I mean, the Boston Celtics look like, again, they're back on pace to be a championship team. Yeah. Am I too early in saying that, though?
No, you're not way too early. They're just coached very well.
And then last week we were talking about Joe Mazzulla and probably being a coaching issue, right? So isn't it funny how things turn quickly? But no, right? I mean, this is the key. I mean, I think when they're ready to put it all together, they put it all together, and I think they're at that point now. Like they said, okay, look, Jaylen Brown in that injury probably helped this team right now.
Yeah, helped the team a lot.
right?
Oh,
Now every guy's starting to contribute. Jason Tatum says, look, I'll take it to another level. You guys just got to chip in.
yep.
Just chip in. And I'll get you to 50 points a game. I mean, and it's not far. What does he have? 5 now in his career?
Yes.
And then I think he's for over 40 points at least 4 times this season.
Yeah.
Right. So he's just taking it to another level. It's great to see because we were a little nervous. We're a little nervous. I kind of said he's always going to be that really good player that maybe doesn't seem to take it to another level. And this seems like this year's the year for him.
Yeah. MVP.
Could be. But the guy at the number 1 team might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
And I just can't. Jokic is just a different animal, man.
He's a beast, yeah. He's unbelievable.
And it's not like he's flashy. And that's the thing that you sit back and you go, okay, it's not. He looks slow. He looks, methodical when he's on, and he just makes things happen. But this team overall, 31-13, 20-3 at home, great home record.
Great home
Another
record.
team that struggles on the road though, 11-10,
Yep.
117.2 points per game, 6th in the NBA, 113.1 points against 14th. They've got to get better defensively. 9-1 in their last 10. They're also on a 7-game winning streak, so they've seemed to put it together. They are the number 1 shooting team in the league at 50.9%.
Yep.
Number 1 in 3-point percentage at 39.8.
Yep.
Free throws surprised me though, 25th in the league, 75.1%. So again, that might be an Achilles heel. In the playoffs, again, fourth quarter, what are they going to do? They're going to put you on the line. They're going to slow the game down, and if you can't make those free throws. They are 2nd in the league in assists at 28.8. Defensively, they hold teams to 35% from the 3-point line. So you're seeing really good production when it comes to defending the perimeter. Last 3 games, they beat the Clippers, the Magic, and the Trailblazers. The next 3 are at home, Minnesota, Indiana, and OKC. OKC is not something to sleep on, man. That team's been very tough this year.
Yeah, they're quick. They're
very
quick.
fast, very fast.
Very quick.
Right. So we know what Jokic is doing. We could sit back and talk about all the numbers. I wanted to talk about his field goal percentage, 62.7% from the field, which is 2nd on the team. And his assist to turnover ratio, 2.8. He's number 1 in the team in that as well.
Yeah.
The man is doing it all for the Denver Nuggets. What can hurt this team and them not be the number 1 team in the West when this is all said and done, Kenny?
Free throws. That's the only thing, free throws. Like you said, you give fourth quarter, teams will be like, hey, let's foul him. Yeah, let's get him to the line. Yeah. Hey, if he misses one, still got a chance.
Yeah, so, it's kind of funny because at one point, Ron was laughing at me. This is my finals pick and them to win it all. And I said, look, if they stay healthy, which right now you got Aaron Gordon, who's played 39 games, Murray, who's played 37, and Michael Porter Jr., who's played 30. Those guys give you 75% of the season and then get to the playoffs with Jokic. This is an extremely deep team and very troublesome for a lot of the Western Conference. The key is, though, can these guys stay healthy? They haven't proven to be able to do that consistently. Jamal Murray was a freak thing where, again, he blew out his knee and it took him a little while to get back. Yeah. But Michael Porter Jr. has been one of those guys in and out of the lineup. Aaron Gordon's had that tendency to be in and out of the lineup. If those guys stay healthy, this is the result you get. They're 31-13. They're a great team.
Yeah. And those 6 guys can average double digits anytime they want per game. They shoot so well, and especially when you leave them open. Oh my goodness, yo!
And who's your guy, Bones? There,
yes,
right. He's having a great season for them, right? He's double digits. There's a lot of guys contributing to the Denver Nuggets. They're coached well too. I like their coach. I think this is, to me, again, the team to beat. I really do. I truly, if they stay healthy, I think they're the team to beat. Yeah. I think that they're the only team right now, realistically, that could beat an Eastern Conference team in the finals.
Yes.
Because I think Jokic is that key. There's not a lot of teams in the East that have a guy that can compete with him.
Nobody has a Jokic. Nobody.
So let's look at this list one more time before we go into our Do You Remember? So at 5, you had the Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets at 4, the Memphis Grizzlies at 3, the Boston Celtics at 2, and the Denver Nuggets at number 1. Kenny, give us the teams that may not be on this list or may drop down on this list for next week.
Philly. I think Philly's going to drop. Philly's going to drop. Yeah, Philly's going to drop.
Right? Let's see. Portland at Sacramento and Brooklyn. So those are 3 very tough games.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that they're 11-9 on the road at Sacramento. Sacramento's no slouch now. We've talked about it.
No
Right?
slouch at all.
They are an up-and-coming team. They've been consistently playing well this season. It's not one of those, hey, they have a good 3-game stretch. They've been pretty good at 24-18. So, yeah, I would also start to look at the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, I think that KD injury, right, could be a factor in this.
Yep.
And even though they're on the West Coast, again, Golden State getting healthy at the right time.
Yep.
Phoenix is still Phoenix. They could, again, potentially be a solid team. I think that injury to Devin Booker's hurt them now.
Mm.
And then Utah came back down to earth, but again, they've played some winning basketball. So it'll be interesting to see how this list looks next week. I'm very looking forward to next week's rankings and see how you do on that one. But it is time for Do You Remember, Kenny?
Ready.
And this week, I think these are easy. I think these are easy 3-pointers. 3 points easy for you. Okay.
Okay. Ready.
All right. So this first player played for a 6-time championship team, was one of the best duos in NBA history, left the team after the best player possibly ever left the team. What team did he end his career with? Who's the player? What team did he end his career with? I gave you way too easy of a hint.
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen. All right. So you got a half a point. Scottie Pippen. What team did he end his career with, though?
The Houston. Oh, wait. Okay, it's from Chicago to Portland. Portland to the Rockets.
Okay. Let's see if you are correct, sir. All right.
What was it, Portland?
So it was a trick question because
Rockets. Trick question.
So he went from Chicago to Houston to Portland and then played his final year as in Chicago. He went back for one final season to the Chicago Bulls.
Really?
Yes, sir. So Scottie Pippen ended his career. He sandwiched in between the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
So you kind of were on the right track. I didn't remember him going back to Chicago. I checked and made sure the numbers. Yes, he was there.
Okay. All right.
All right. So you got a half a point, though. We'll give you a half a point. I made it too easy, though. I gave you such an easy answer on that.
Don't remember that. Don't remember that.
So this player
Mhm.
played 18 years in the league, 17 with one team, left in his final year. Believe he won 5 championships with the team that he spent 17 years with. One of the best point guards, or considered one of the best point guards at the time. Played in a Southern team. How's that?
17 years, point guard. 17 years, point guard. 17 years, point guard. Southern team.
5 championships.
5 championships.
Considered one of the best international players as well.
Was a point guard? 5 championships? What?
You want another hint?
5 championships.
5 championships, which is rare.
Point guard.
Yeah. I believe 5. I'm pretty sure it was 5. I could be wrong. It might be more. I'm pretty sure it's 5.
He was a point guard?
He was a point guard. Played with one of the best power forwards in the history of the NBA. with all those championships. My basketball guy, you're struggling here, my friend. You're struggling.
No. What the heck?
All right. You ready for the player?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Tony Parker. Tony Parker. San Antonio Spurs, right? 5 championships. Tim Duncan. Which team did he end his career with, though? Played for France, right? Great international player, France. I do it. I gave you every possible clue, right? Tony Parker. No respect, no love for Tony. No love for TP.
He ain't French.
We all need TP. We all need TP at some point.
Wow, I was okay. All right.
What team did he end his career with, though? 17 years with San Antonio, 1 season with this next team.
Yeah. And I know this too. I'm thinking the Minnesota Timberwolves.
T-Wolves is the guess. Let's see if you get a half a point, my friend.
No, it's not. No.
It was the Charlotte Hornets.
Charlotte Hornets, yep.
Right? He went that 1 year, and it was like it didn't go very well.
Yep.
And he retired.
Yeah.
Tony Parker. No love for TP, baby. Come on.
Tony Parker.
You don't consider him one of the best point guards of all time? At least in that era, in that period of time with the San Antonio Spurs?
No.
Wow.
I'm sorry,
okay.
no.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, no.
All right, my friend. Last one.
All right, let's get this one.
All right, this one's a little weird because I didn't know this. I'm going to give you the first hint. It was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, which I didn't know.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Made his career in a famous city, basketball city. Had some legendary games versus Chicago and Miami. Had a famous dunk in one of those playoff series that was kind of carried on through history. It's shooting guard. Could get hot at any point.
Ooh. It was drafted by Golden State.
Which I didn't realize. So if you know this one based off of that, I'd be pretty impressed, honestly.
Drafted by Golden State.
You got to think of a dunk. He had a massive dunk one time in a playoff series. And famous basketball city. Some consider the most famous basketball city in the world. How much of a hint is that?
Okay, so that's New York.
There we go.
It's the Mecca.
So it's the Mecca.
Drafted by Golden State, huh?
Golden State only played, I think, the first 2 years with Golden State. Then it looks like traded to the Knicks.
Huh.
Think the dunk. There was a dunk back in the 90s.
It's not Daryl Dawkins. Daryl Dawkins.
90s. Where I'm going 90s. I haven't given you more hints. 90s.
Okay, 90s.
I believe.
Wait, hold on.
Yep. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Wait. You said a shooting guard?
Yes.
/ point guard?
Yeah, you could kind of say that. Yes, sir.
John Starks.
Bang, baby. Which was the dunk? You remember that dunk he had?
I had the poster right on Jordan baseline.
Right.
On Jordan?
Yes.
I had the poster.
John Starks, my friend. Half a point. I gave you a lot of hints though, but so you got a full point right now tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your shot to get a 1.5. So you could break even here. You could bring even on this. What team did he end his career with though?
Oh, jeez. Oh, John Starks.
You are not getting this, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not.
Not even close. You might as well just throw a team out.
Yeah. John Starks. I want to say, Orlando Magic.
Orlando Magic is the guess.
That's not right.
Let's see if you are correct.
Not right. It's not right. It's not right.
All right.
Right. Utah Jazz. I don't remember.
I don't know. So got drafted by Golden State,
Yep.
played with the Knicks, went back to Golden State, played 4 games with Chicago, and then ended his career with Utah.
Wow.
So he kind of bounced around after that New York Knicks thing.
Wow.
But again, when you think about electrifying at that point with that was those playoff series in those mid 90s, and he was on that finals team, right, with the OJ Chase.
Yep. Sure
He was
was.
on that team. So
Sure was. Sure
always,
was.
always a piece of history with that finals
Sure
team.
was. Sure
But
was.
John
John
Starks,
Starks. Well, he was a good. The unbelievable part is a guy goes grocery shopping. He's a bagger at a grocery store. Guy says, "You play basketball?" He says, "A little bit." He says, "You should come try out for me." Wait, what? Wait, what? wait, what? What? Back in groceries here. What? Wait, what?
and it was John Starks.
Yeah, Mr. John Stark.
Wow, man, huh? Isn't that crazy?
Crazy, right?
Unreal.
Bagging groceries to dunking on Jordan.
Right? Unreal.
He really
So
didn't. Talking about he really didn't dunk on me. Yeah, he did. He went baseline on you, dude.
He did. So great list, my friend. I want to thank you for your basketball insight. This has been Sports Unfolded NBA Ranking Show. We do our normally scheduled programming every Friday night at 6 p.m. on Rhode Island Broadcasting, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have so much fun doing it. We cover all of the top sports stories going on in the world today. So cover everything from NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, NCAA. If if there's a story out there, golf, it doesn't matter, tennis, we do it all.
We do it all.
So check it out. Continue to support and share our shows. That means so much to us. If you'd like to follow us on our social media platforms, that ticket that's been running on the bottom, there's so many different ways to watch and follow us. Continue to support us. We appreciate it. Kenny, I appreciate all you do for Sports Unfolded. And I will see you next week. Can't wait for these new rankings. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a changing of the guards, my friend.
Me too.
All right. All we ever ask for every single show is peace on earth.
Peace.